Well, our next topic this week is about a TCG live update, and there is a new patch coming next week. And there's some pretty big updates coming to the game, and they are things that the community has been asking for. Some of these things since the release of TCG Live. I would argue that all of these things have been things people have wanted since the release
And
of
most of
TCG Live.
them, they all existed in PTCGO,
They did all
right?
exist in
I think they all
PTCGO.
existed, but yeah, go through them and we'll talk about 'em.
3 years later. Here we go. Hey everyone, TCG Live Game Client update starting February 18th. Here are the list of changes, the featured changes. Players are now able to mute their opponent's reactions in a match. So no more spam, thumbs up constantly. No
So
more
annoying.
spamming of the shrug emoji. What's the most triggering one to play against, do
I
you
just
think?
I don't even recognize which one it is, it's just that it happens. It's funny though, now I can mute them because 'cause I'll react to it sometimes, and I'll realize my chat can't see it because my overlay covers that part.
Oh.
I did that on purpose so my chat didn't have to deal with it as well. But I'll be like sometimes I'll be like, my opponent will like do something and they're like fine, but then they do like the thumbs down emote because they didn't get the perfect 7 cards off research or something. I'm like, bro, what are you complaining about? Like, and I was like, oh, I was like, chat, they did the thumbs up thing. My chat can't, because my chat can't see it, and I'll react to my opponent's reaction. But yeah, I'm glad they're getting rid of that because I'm the instant. Hopefully, it's a global setting and not a per match setting, but we'll see. It'll
It was
probably
a
be a
per
per
match
match.
setting in TCGO.
Yeah, it'll be one of those things I'm just gonna hopefully be able to make a habit and insta mute.
Players can now remove match timers when challenging their friends to a match.
This one's big for coaching mostly, but also playtesting as well. This makes the playtesting experience of PTCG Live. PTCG Live, you basically could not use for playtesting. Like,
No.
yeah, you can use it for practice, play ladder or whatever, but it's basically impossible to use for playtesting. Like you and a testing partner sit down because whenever you got to a situation where you want to be like, "Hey, what do I do here?" The timer starts beeping. You're like, "Well, I just got to make an action," and you can't even discuss the play. So everyone just used simulators, which made more sense. So finally, you can coach efficiently and playtest efficiently on PTCG Live.
Yeah, which is huge for sure. When a match has concluded, players are now able to add their opponent as a friend with a single button press.
That one's kind of whatever, to be honest. I don't even.
I think it's like a fine thing. It's a normal
Yeah,
thing I feel like to exist
it
in
should.
card
Yeah, it should.
games. You
Yeah,
can always like send a friend request or whatever.
don't add me, please.
Yeah, that probably going to be annoying. I wonder. I guess for you, people in your position, streamers and stuff, it would be nice for there to be a auto deny setting or something like
Yeah,
that because you will
not
probably
that big of a deal.
everyone who queues into you will request to add you probably.
Not everyone, but some people will.
If the player has knocked out opposing Pokemon that have a combined prize card value greater than or equal to the number of the player's remaining prize cards, the remaining prize cards are auto selected for them.
Holy smokes! Finally, so if you win the game just wins the game for you instead of having to you click on your prize cards. There's so many things, and these are like so. Most of these things that we're reading here, there's other things to look at here in the patch notes, are all like quality of life upgrades, but they're things we've wanted for so long. And honestly, it should just draw your prize cards randomly for you. You picking your prize cards is just ridiculous to begin with. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It shouldn't. You should just like pick your prize card for you. If I
Well,
knock out an EX Pokemon,
yeah.
um, it should just draw me 2 prize cards. That's
I
it, and
think
that's how it
it's
should go.
reasonable that because there may not be something in the game always that lets you like put specific cards in specific places in your prize cards, right? But I think it's probably just from a coding perspective, that is like a very minor thing, I think, in my mind, to just like have it be instead of having it be like it always just auto takes them, but then it always just auto takes them. But then when you play a certain card, oh, now it has to change to where you get to select which prize cards to take in what order. Like I think it just makes it's like not that big of a deal that
Well, I mean, alright, so it's actually really funny because I
I know that's one of the probably rebuttals to it you hear all the time when you bring this
yeah,
up.
I literally wrote this down on my notepad. Chip is gonna say, "What if you interact with your prize card?" 'Cause I knew this was gonna come up, and I was like, "That's what he's gonna say." They just need to put a clause in the coding that says if prize cards are interacted with, allow like initiate player selection over random selection. Like it's not hard. I don't know how to code, but even if someone who knows how to code tells me it's hard to do, I know you're wrong and you don't know what you're talking about. You probably took your first coding class the other day. Like it's not hard for them to put a clause in there like when prize cards are interacted with, which if you play Peonia, Heavy Ball would not count as that. If you play something like Peonia or Gladian, actually, did Gladion reshuffle? I don't even remember.
Gladion
Um,
does reshuffle.
yeah, so it would be basically just be Peonia off the top of my head. Like if Peonia, like if a card like Peonia is played, it marks your prize cards as interacted with. If prize cards are interacted with, you no longer your prize cards are no longer selected randomly. Instead, you get to pick them. But if prize cards are uninteracted with, which is 99% of games, then they're picked randomly. Just everything is all quality of life upgrades. Their goal should be to have players play as many games of Pokemon as fast as possible at an enjoyable pace, right? So you don't want the animations and stuff to be going super fast and like people getting nauseous, which is kind of how it felt when they just kind of like turned up the animation speed of everything. It felt like, um, but I guess maybe I've just gotten used to it now personally. But if players getting new to the game have that feel that way, maybe it is something that they just kind of did and it is too fast still. But yeah, prize cards should just be selected for you. Like it should just be faster. Like they are adding these, but these and there's still so many other quality of life upgrades to add. And I think the biggest one is overall still just the gameplay, which they never address in patch notes. They never say like we've made. Well, I feel like maybe they like when they initially made animations faster, they did put something like that in the patch notes, but they never say anything like the average time for after you click on your attack to your attack actually happening, we've increased by X. Because right now, if you like click attack, your Pokemon moves over to the side, then the name of the attack pops up on the screen, then the Pokemon executes the attack, then the Pokemon goes back down to the screen, then your opponent's turn starts. But like that's too much. They still have a whole ton to do with quality of life upgrades for like the gameplay so that the games are shorter and you're playing more games of Pokemon. But all these things in these patch notes are a beginning to that. So maybe they're finally at the point with the game where now this is like can be their focus. Like because there really hasn't been that many bugs recently, right? Like I haven't hit a bug in a while, I feel like. And when a new set drops, there's not a whole ton of bugs on new set releases either. There are some, but there's not like what there used to be. So maybe now they're at the point where they can actually start putting time towards quality of life upgrades and just like gameplay quality in general to make the game just feel more enjoyable to play and just be a better experience. And hopefully that is like over this next year we see a lot more of those kind of improvements. So we can just play more games of Pokemon faster. Because like Guardy's ability, bro, Guardy's still going to be in format for another year. It's a miserable experience to use Gardevoir's ability on PDCG Live still. And the card's been in format for how many years now? 2? In a while, right? We haven't
Yeah, yeah, coming up on 2.
we have, like, another year.
Yep.
Yeah, so, like, stuff like that, they should still fix Guardy's ability, hopefully, but I don't know.
I just gotta say, like, I feel incredibly seen, and I'm happy that you like. I feel like a connection here. The fact that you know me so well, you knew what I was gonna say. It's like we're having a little bit of a moment. I feel. Are you feeling this? Is this just me?
No, it's just everyone's reaction to when I say the prize card should be randomly.
Last new
Mhm.
update here. Click to place feature has been added.
Ooh, is
So
that, like, for stabilized damage? You don't have to drag the
Oh, I don't know. It says see news for more updates. What I thought this was where you could click a card and then click like the active spot. So you didn't have to like click and
Oh,
drag. That's what I thought this meant, but I
mhm.
guess it could mean to like place damage.